First video for Straight Line Motorsports. I am Elliot Fagata 64, the racing number that I have selected for myself. Good evening. We are live at Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit for some Mazda MX5 pre-season, of course, racing. As you can see on screen so far, we've currently got Kyle and Doug on circuit, followed by James, Hair Razor, Yara, Maverick, and Superboy. So let's just change that because it'd be better to know what the drivers' names are. So that's down here. Just pop that out there just to signal to Kyle that we are ready from our end. As qualifying begins, it's a new feature just added into Gran Turismo Sport in the past couple of days. 10-minute qualifying session here, and then a 30-minute race will ensure after that. So, just looking back, first car's out onto the track. I am not too sure what is going on here with the pit lane. It looks as if it's a slight glitch with the game, and in fact nobody can get out the pits. That's an issue. AI.exe has stopped working. That's probably the funniest comment that could have been put. Let's just get everyone to back out of this session and we'll get that up and running again. I honestly wish I could tell you what was going on, but I can't, I'm afraid. That was a little bit of a tricky situation, but hopefully everyone will go straight back on to the circuit, remaining in the pit lane, and we can get this qualifying session back underway. If of course it does fail, we'll go back to how we used to run it in Global Hub Racing. You'll have a 10-minute just power around the circuit, and we'll line you up in fastest first. Okay, so everyone but James is on circuit. Not too sure what's going on here. Oh. Just going to double check the Discord. Apologies for my silence briefly. James.exe. Just a shout out to Kyle there, thanking him for putting out the stream into the chat. And thank you for you two that are that I was aware of that are definitely watching, or three, and the comment, so that was well timed. Just have a look and see who it is that is watching along with us. Okay, here we go. So my videos, it will show a little bit live. Oh, okay, so James will not be joining the restart. There we go. And that is a glitch from the controller. That's a promise. Six cars, standard club car entry size, and the other new feature: we can now ride on board with the drivers and get a driver's view of what's going on the circuit. Here we go. Nice, cool screen that we've got there. Didn't get that in the first time round. As here we go, all cars make it out onto the circuit without any issues. Much better. The first onto circuit was, of course, Kyle, Doug, Hair Razor, Superboy, Alt, Maverick, and Yera, with the lack of James Head 14 due to commentary. I did already have this set up. There we go. Just running on board with Doug there, running slightly wide, but once again, great looking camera view here. We can even have a look around in the mirrors as well. Look left and right. You can see Hair Razor just in the wing mirror there. Otherwise, looks pretty sturdy for a spectator cam to be. Just have a look through here. Does look very good actually, very good. No delay, no lag, no sort of frame rate drop. You can look down at the driver's feet, which is also pretty cool. And just close that. There we go. We'll have a look down on the brakes. Wow, you can actually see the feet moving. So great little features being added to Gran Turismo all the time. It's just good to see that we can get some of these into practice. Maverick's dropped further down the field just to gain some track position. Let's just watch them all coming round. Kyle, Doug, Hair Razor, Superboy, Yera and Maverick in that order will begin their laps. Kyle begins his lap now, crossing the line. Let's ride on board with him for a lap of Brands Hatch. Let's get rid of the display. Ride on board with them. So, up towards Druid's hairpin, down into second gear, runs ever so slightly wide. Doug in behind takes exactly the same line, maybe slightly wider, to Graham Hill Bend. Slight kick of oversteer there after getting caught on the grass. Runs it out wide using all and some of the circuit. Now into clear, up onto the Grand Prix loop. Now got the downhill stretch. You pick up to about 165 mile an hour, 170. That's got to be in kilometers an hour, because I'd be very concerned if a Mazda MX5 is doing that sort of speed. In the background you can just see in the wing mirror there, Doug gaining on Kyle, as if he's been doing a load of practice on it. But the cars do look surprisingly good in the wing mirrors as well, in the rear view mirror, the wing mirrors. In fact, the wing mirrors looks substantially better, but really gives you a feel for what the club championships deal with in their racing series in real life. And just the graphics on Gran Turismo really do give you that sort of effect and realism. But here we go through the final corner. Do think Doug will go quicker here than Kyle. Just have a watch and see. Kyle crosses the line, Doug in behind goes quicker, and look at that, we've even got a breakdown of the times coming through on the left hand side. So as I said, these features that keep rolling in looking good, as Kyle must have had a quite a substantial mistake somewhere on that lap, or just not as quick. Thank you to the 6 people that are now watching. It's good to have you with us on our first stream. Of course, not a championship race, but we'll get there. Still working on things. Steering wheel went up in smoke the other day, so I'm certainly not racing for a good couple of weeks. And plans for the GT3 Championship are still coming along, and always looking for new drivers. So if you are clean, wanting to race competitively, and looking for professional race layouts and racing championships, SLMotorsports is the place to be, as Doug is still on the tail of Kyle here. So before long, Kyle will be holding Doug up, and may need to let him go. Coming through here, not quite flat, very close to getting caught on the grass there was Kyle, but I think Doug again is going to go quicker at this point. Back on board and have a look and see. Two completely different lines through there. Kyle taking a wider line, Doug taking a much more tighter line on the inside, on using all the curb. Kyle comes across the line, jumps back up to third. Doug improves, but in fact it's Hairraiser that takes provisional pole for now. Let's just double check. Yep, so Hairraiser provisional pole. Kyle backs off. Just double check on timing. On the timing screen we can see it's Hairraiser, Doug, Kyle, Yera, Maverick and Superboy. But let's just keep an eye on these guys as they run through. Superboy sets a new qualifying time. Not too sure he improved there, I don't believe he did. Should have really turned notifications off at the start, so I do apologise for that. Okay, so running through. Goes Yera through the shot. Superboy struggling around the circuit, and Maverick as well, but we're going to see Doug go quicker. In fact, no, because he does get caught on the gravel, which then sucks him out onto the grass, narrowly avoiding the barrier back there, and that'll be his lap ruined after that off-track excursion. But in fact, Kyle, or just it's like commentators curse. First one, then the second one. Who else am I going to ride on board with and watch him go wide? It's not Yera. Got through there very nicely. Through Dingledell. Now Superboy coming towards Dingledell chicane as well now. Just have a look through here. Cuts a huge chunk, and in fact, yeah, it's a bit too quick through there, I think, from Superboy. Let's just check on the comments, because I can see you guys are coming through to me. So I will try and get through your comments as quickly as possible. So, where are we? New subscribers, of course, James and Buddha. Good to see you, Buddha. Let's have a look here, Buddha. Good luck with the race. That cockpit view looks nice. It does indeed, Buddha. It does indeed. And I think the fact that the frame rate doesn't drop and it looks very smooth with no sort of twitching and of the vehicle, it looks very good. Very good, Buddha. Of course, it's good to have you with us watching. That's Elliot here. Just drop me a message. I'm up at the top of the board. Just drop me a message if you would be interested. I know we do have a small grid currently, but just as a reminder, this is a non-championship pre-season social event. And whoever that is coming through on the comment section is out. Obviously, if people want to slate off the commentary, that's absolutely fine. Go ahead and just drop me a message and provide me with your constructive feedback. As I should normally be on the circuit, but as mentioned, issues with the steering wheel going up in smoke. That's currently going through a return. Let's just have a look at how much time we got remaining. 1 minute 22. So I don't know with Gran Turismo's qualifying whether these guys will be able to finish their lap. I know in the settings there was an additional feature where you can change or tweak it ever so slightly. But yeah, not too sure if that's what that was. I'll have a look at the settings, and don't know if anyone's able to advise me on that. But Doug going purple in the third sector. Doug going purple in the third sector. I'll just bring up the live timing just to confirm. Doug is absolutely flying at this point. Sorry, that's Hairraiser. Hairraiser is absolutely flying, and Doug also going green. Just see what these guys can do. Hair Raiser will be getting the toe off of Doug, but don't think he'll be going quicker here actually, Hair Raiser. Unless they're all going quicker. Kyle running through the last corner as well. Getting the toe is Hair Raiser. Doug. Yeah, so only just not quick enough there from Hair Raiser. But let's see. Final countdown. It's now finished. Final lap. So the drivers do get to complete their laps as we see contact. Kyle drifting off wide as well. Top 3 in strife, not getting another lap in. Let's just watch as Yera comes through. His engine is pretty much off. So that's his qualifying finished. Oh, I guess that was probably his qualifying over. Oh, I see. Ooh. Okay, we'll have to try and figure out what happens with that then, because it does tell the drivers this is their final lap. Oh, of course, that does make sense. The timer has now run out. Crossing the line, Superboy remains 5th. Maverick still trundling around. Obviously, new car. Not seen him drive in recent leagues, either run or co-run by myself, but he definitely doesn't look to be improving or at least challenging the times at the top. He's currently 3.2 seconds off the pace, Superboy 2.2 off the pace, Yero 1.1 off the pace, and just over half a second covering the top 3. So should be quite a good race if these guys can keep it on the circuit. Doug having a huge slide through there. We're just right on board with Hair Raiser and Yera. But 30 seconds to go. Oh, I guess perhaps Doug maybe got another lap time in there. So, did he cross the line before or after the timer ran out? Or as he comes into the pits? So let's just see what happens when riding on board with him coming into the pit lane. And straight back out the other side, sees the checkered flag on the left there, so that will now be qualifying over. 1 second to go. There we are. Qualifying has now ended, and that is the run through of the order. And now we go straight into the race. So hopefully there will be a setting that we can change it so that we don't immediately go into the race and drivers do get time after qualifying to have a break, as all but one car decide to flash their lights at the camera. Of course, absolutely fine to do. No regular, and there, in fact, there we go. Maverick just pops his headlights up at the end there. But a 30-minute sprint race, and just keep an eye. In fact, can we go? We're not quite going to. And it's blocked me completely out. In fact, they've jumped the start. Some of them there, right on board as they get away. Just have a look in the background. There is a car left on the grid. That will be Maverick. But look at this. It's a great spectator cam on board. Helmet camera. Looked absolutely amazing. As we're going to see Superboy go for a move down the inside. Kyle to the outside. Doug getting past Hair Raiser. Slight contact on exit, but once again, club racing, there will be some rubbing. As they do say, rubbing is racing. On the inside looks Yera on Superboy, coming down into clearways. Superboy's going to run slightly wide, and it's going to give Yera a good chance here. Gives him a slight tap on the back. In fact, there goes Kyle through into second place, getting the toe off of Doug. Hair Raiser just needs to slide into the slipstream there, which he does so. And down the inside is Kyle going to have a look. No, it's just a slight tap on the brake there just to settle the car coming through the corner. But good looking scrap coming through here though, of the top 5. Maverick just playing a little bit of catch up here, but as they run up towards Dingle Dell, let's just have a look. Anybody going to cut it substantially? Superboy just gets away with that. Yera on the inside now though. Down the inside, last of the late breakers, and he is through, but he gets very sideways on exit, and back through goes Superboy, with Yera tucking back into the slipstream. So all very clean. Good to see that the drivers that we currently have, the 6 that we have got attending tonight, with potentially way more than that for the GT3 championship. Looking very, very good indeed. So Maverick dropping off a little bit. Don't know if he's had a mistake somewhere, but side by side through Paddock Hill is Hair Raiser and Kyle. Hair Raiser still on the inside, not going to look to make a move. You just see Doug on the inside there. But coming down the hill, it's Hair Razor giving chase to Kyle, who is giving chase to Doug. Maverick does leave the race, and the lobby as well. So just a little bit more practice for Maverick, I think, and he'll be up there. He'll be up there squabbling with the midfield, and hopefully not chasing down the pack. Good 5 seconds down the road. But anyway, on to lap 2. Lap times of 1:45 coming through. Of course, that was a standing start. This guy's just lifting off, coming through Hawthorns, I believe it is. I will pull up track maps for commentary going forward. Yera hanging on to the back there, as well as Superboy as well. Can't quite remember what happened to Superboy. I think he was actually squabbling. In fact, Hair Razor's gone wide. Can he keep it on the circuit? He can. He's sideways. And where's Superboy? Superboy comes through as well. So pole sitter Hair Razor now from first down to last. 26 minutes left in this race. Couldn't possibly tell you what the settings are on. I did not check those, so I do apologise for that. But Yera now gaining on Kyle. Slight delay in loading up the interior camera there as you flick through the drivers. Coming through Paddock Hill. Yera looking much quicker on entry, but not as quick on exit. Definitely feel like he's in the wrong gear coming up there. It really sounded like it was straining, trying to gain some speed coming up the hill. But Doug not quite getting away, so I'm not too sure. Doug's now starting to struggle. But now coming on to lap 3, 2.2 seconds between the top 3. And in fact, Yera's got a great run on Kyle. Here he comes in the slipstream, pulls to the inside, sells from the dummy, goes to the outside. Is he going to get the move done before the corner, during the corner? How's this going to pay off? Let's have a look. Exterior cam. And he's got the move done. Kyle just tucks in behind. Nice. And in fact, in behind as well. Superboy and Hair Razor going at it. Hair Razor going to look to the inside. Is there an overlap? There is, judging by the shadow, but Hair Razor once again just tucks in behind Superboy. So still great racing between everyone here. Down to 5 drivers out of the 6. But as I said previously, non-championship pre-season racing, and looking good so far. But Doug leads, coming on to the end of lap 3, coming through the final corner. So we've got 25 minutes left of this race. Not the most exciting race, of course, but still, as I said, good to see some great, clean driving between the drivers. Superboy, number 31, and 69, Hair Razor. Ironically, their number making 100. Yep. Just trying to pick out some facts. And in fact, Hair Razor down the inside of Superboy. Superboy just going wide at Paddock Hill bend on the exit. So, again, very clean pass, and just capitalising on the mistake. As these cars do look very, very slidey. I'm just going to take a look and see what tyres they're on. In fact, they're all on super softs, which is surprising. I am very surprised at that. And no tyre wear or fuel use, it seems. So very, very much a social race this evening. Just having a run through, see if anyone's looking to have a battle anywhere. Doug's starting to pull away now. As Yera's now starting to pull away as well from Kyle. Interesting to see if Yera... In fact, Yera has got the fastest lap of the race so far, which was set on lap 2. Or potentially lap 3, sorry. I will double check that. Let's have a look. Last lap, 1:35.9 was Yera's last lap, and that's what we've got as fast. In fact, he's gone wide. Once again, my commentator's car is kicking in there. As let's just see, our Hair Razor and Superboy going to get onto the back of Yera here and look to make a move into turn 1. Certainly Hair Razor's looking pretty quick through the last corner. I don't know if Yera's got some dirt on his tyres, but here he comes. Hair Razor onto the back. Hair Razor takes fastest lap of the race by 1,000th of a second. So pretty evenly matched between these guys. Yera slightly wide, getting caught on the curb. 3 goes Hair Razor. Going to keep on board with this. As in the background, Superboy looking to get the move done as well. Yera holding onto the back of Hair Razor. Let's just take a look out in front, see if that's getting any closer, and it's not. But in behind, Yera right up onto the tail of Hair Razor coming through Graham Hill Bend. As they are forever closing in on each other. Let's have a look. Yera takes a slightly tighter line through there, but not as quick on exit. Let's have a look. Superboy starts to drop back. So Slipstream not as effective here. Of course, it is always going to be on a real run, nothing but real. Coming through, fast right-hander as you drop down the hill on the Grand Prix circuit. Superboy in behind, just running slightly wide. And in fact, looking from Superboy's car, running wide again, the cars do look absolutely phenomenal. So good to see that the Mazdas, which were promised in the official release trailer, are now in game, and Superboy goes wide. Superboy goes wide and loses some more time as Yera now is right back onto the tail of Hair Razor, and both of them seem to be reeling in Kyle, and they certainly will do with Kyle going wide just like he has there, and he's spun. Kyle has spun out of second place, has dropped to fourth, now fifth as here comes Superboy. Superboy takes the position as well, so unfortunate there from Kyle in this half an hour sprint race. Now got 21 minutes to regain that time. As now the battle for what is now second place is Doug, Hair Razor, Yera. The battle for second is closer than the battle for the lead. So we'll just keep on board with this and see what Yera can do about Hair Razor. Hair Razor very... Yera using a lot more inside curb, but still pretty even between them. Not much time lost, not much time gained. So it looks like you can take two lines in these little cup cars, and doesn't seem to be much difference. But now Yera's got a slightly better drive. Starts to gain, and you can see in the top left the gap coming down. Hair Razor feels the need to go to the inside to defend, but comes straight back across again to take the racing line through the fast right-hander. And in fact, he's going to go slightly wide here, and Yera's looking quick. Very close there. Was Hair Razor to losing the back end completely and heading off into the Armco barrier on the right-hand side. But Yera remaining on the tail of Hair Razor, just needs to keep his cool, wait, pick his moment. Comes through there, not quite as quick as Hair Razor, despite taking a tighter line. Coming through here, tail steps out just a little bit again. Yera still chasing down Hair Razor, who looks to have gained just a small amount of time coming through there. Coming through the final corner, Yera slightly tighter line. Hair Razor does run slightly wider. Just watching that gap coming down again. It's only by a couple of thousandths a second, so not much time is to be gained there from Yera through the final sector. But both cars riding the curb through Paddock Hill Bend onto lap 7. Doug still getting away out in front, and the battle behind, looking at the map in the top right, would suggest Superboy and Kyle. Not much time being gained from Kyle after that spin on lap 6. But now Hair Razor's just managed to pull some time coming through the first sector. Now entering sector 2. He's just managed to pull that gap on Yera by about 3 tenths of a second. I'm going to stop talking. We're going to ride on board with Yera and allow him to give chase to Hair Razor. I will keep quiet so you can just hear the engine notes running through. Yera does now appear to be struggling, so he's lost a lot of time through there as we went on board with him. Chasing down Hair Razor, but in fact even in behind, just looking in the rear view mirror there, you can just catch a glimpse of Superboy. There you go in the distance, the rendering is going to catch up with him and he might just disappear, but Kyle also losing some time. Yera through turn 1. Hair Razor coming through Druid's hairpin here at Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit. Runs down the hill, down Graham Hill, into Graham Hill Bend, onto Cooper Straight, before making his way around the back part of the circuit Grand Prix loop. The race has settled down now. 4.9 or 4.8 seconds separate, 4.7 now separate the top two. 3.4 separate second and third. 4.1 separate third and fourth. Separated by 5.2, and of course the gap between Doug and Kyle now up to 17 seconds after the spin Kyle endured on lap 6. Just thought I'd take a moment to have a look through the liveries as well. I know these are only temporary for the race this evening. Doug, of course, running the orange and white Costa livery. Number 13, old timer, as his number plate and registration plate would suggest. Getting on a bit is Doug, but doesn't seem to be affecting his racecraft as he's leading us on to lap 9. Let's take a look at Hair Razor's livery, also in his white and red Costa livery, with, what's that on the registration plate? Let's do some zooming in here and have a look. It says Nurb Crew. I believe that is, of course, linked to the Nürburgring, and perhaps he is in a crew or community that does indeed enjoy driving them around the Nürburgring. Yera, number 56, running what looks to me to be a bog standard livery, straight out the package, straight on the circuit, and straight into the podium places for Yera. So running a default livery there is SLM Yera. Superboy also looks to be running a bog standard number 31 bog standard livery for the Mazda MX5 number 31. So we have a look back at Kyle running his own livery, perhaps, with the Driven to Cure registration plate on the back, saying "Cursing Cancer," which is, of course, horrible for anyone to go through. But his intentions there are very clear that, you know, it's the fight against cancer that we're all fighting for. So. Very respective livery there for Kyle, number 22. Very close to having a spin there was Kyle coming out of Dingle Dell. But running back through the order doesn't seem to be closing in anymore. In fact, Yera's losing substantially more time to Hair Razor and Doug. 18 seconds is the gap between first and last. Not too sure how many of you are still watching. We have not had that many comments coming through. Only the three of you, Buddha, James, and the message which was of course deleted. Here we go then. Kyle looks to gain some time on Superboy. I may have missed something there as I was my attention was drawn away. I can reassure you guys I'm still here. I'm still watching. Just small intermittents there from myself as I was just running through a couple of bits. Of course, still setting up the league. That if you haven't got a link to our Discord, and you're not in the Discord and would like to be, and of course aren't one of the blacklisted members that we already have, do feel free to get in touch with me. I'll provide you with that, so you can hop on into the Discord and see that we are planning to be running trucks from the FIA European Truck Racing game. We're looking to be running Wreckfest, so if you like a bit of banger car racing and stuff like that, we'll be running some social stuff on there. Of course, maintaining its professionalism whilst also providing the entertainment factor that Wreckfest should indeed be. Project Cars, we'll be looking to run some championships on Project Cars, Gran Turismo as well. Assetto Corsa, providing it doesn't blow up my wheel like it has in the past 7 days. In fact, running these exact cars around this exact circuit, coming out of Graham Hill Bend as we are about to now, cut out, and smoke pouring out of it. So quick disconnect, box it back up and get it shipped back to the supplier, who will pass that back onto the manufacturer, which is indeed Thrustmaster. Absolutely nothing against them. Their garments, well, not their garments, sorry, the products that they do provide us as customers are absolutely fantastic. They seem to hold up the realism and the realistic feel of a wheel. Logitech is great, has great force feedback. It does, however, just lack that bit of realism, but the reliability of it is pretty good. I've got to say, with Logitech, and it was quite a hard decision coming over to Thrustmaster, but I feel Thrustmaster have got the realism, and just not a fan of Fanatec. After years of experience with them, working at Brands Hatch, at the race hub, a lot of issues with those, so just not a fan of those personally. But it is all down to personal preference. It's just as much as someone calling Gran Turismo a simulator or a simcade or an arcade game. It's all down to personal preference. But our drivers seem to be constantly coming back to Gran Turismo Sports, so can't be all that bad. As the battle for second place looks to be closing in a bit as well, as we are well over halfway now with 11 minutes left to run. Running at about a minute and a half per lap, so we'd be looking at roughly around, I can't do maths, looking about another 7 laps, I think. The Superboy just runs, or Superboy runs wide. Is Kyle going to capitalise on that? The gap is coming down by a couple of tenths of, sorry, a couple of hundredths of a second now. As he's closing on Superboy. Won't be close enough to make a move through here, but may just get a better run. In fact, he just misses a gear change there. Shifts it down into 3rd gear. Pings the engine slightly. Does lose that chunk of time back to Superboy. Gets a much better run through the corner there. Just going to pop back on board with Yera and Hair Razor and watch them running through, whilst I continue to discuss what we are planning to do. F1 plans have now been put on hold. I do hate to say it, but we did have our F1 plans running as smoothly as first thought. But Gran Turismo, FIA Truck Simulator, or Truck Racing, sorry, Wreckfest, Assetto Corsa, Project Cars, we are looking to get some great championships running. Still looking to get some drivers in to participate. In fact, just looking in the background there, Superboy's gone by. Kyle trying to put 4 clips to the back of him. Not too sure if Superboy will be handing that position back. I do feel that he needs to. There was contact there through no fault of Kyle's. But maybe Kyle's just going to stick with him and look to make a pass on him. As Kyle is now flashing his lights and right on board with the rear of Superboy. Just trying to force him into a mistake here, and in fact Superboy does indeed go wide. Not too sure if that's damage or just lack of concentration, but Superboy's now gone wide. Kyle takes the position. And Yera's dropped back from Hair Razor, so the battle was heating up, the battle has now disintegrated. I'm sure he'll get back onto the tire. Let's just have a look through. See, still no new comments coming through. Just get those videos to continue to download. But in the meantime, Yera is, in fact, Superboy may have made another mistake there. So has dropped to 3.3 seconds now back from Kyle. So apart from that, in fact, Doug's slowing. Why is Doug slowing? Doug slowed right down, and now Hair Razor's right on the back of him. I'm not too sure if this is a tactic between the good friends here. That gap has decreased significantly because Hair Razor's now all over the back of Hair Razor. These two are most likely to be in a party, good friends these two. Yera is potentially in that party as well. Maybe able to see some battling going on here, so it's good that Doug's back here and get to give you a real good chance to see what we are looking at in Motorsports League Racing. gaining, still gaining all the time. This Hellraiser. He's just running through Dickel Dell. He's now still on the back of Doug. Maybe these times, these guys' lap times are pretty equal. Hellraiser can just stick to the back of Doug and wait for the opportunity. And in the background, we just see Yera running slightly wide there, so his chances of catching these guys is slightly slimmer. But Hellraiser now taking a slightly tighter line, sticking in the slipstream. Let's just watch that gap. Is now coming down. Superboy leaves the session with 7 minutes to go. Off on holiday, so must need to do some packing. And Doug goes slightly wide. Hellraiser's going to capitalise on this. Up the inside. Last of the late breakers. No contact, not quite. Doug just getting Hellraiser to ride all the curb on the inside. As long as you guys keep it clean between each other and leave enough space for each other. Hellraiser looked to get the switch back there, but couldn't quite make it stick and just tapped the back of Doug. 4 drivers left in this race, but the quality of the racing has been great, so it's just good to see that. Error in the background may actually be closing that gap back up. I didn't see what the gap was just before he made that mistake. Just still hunting around the back of Doug's car. The gap is definitely going up, so yeah, it's just not as quick as these guys up in front. Well, Kyle running through Dingle Dell, right at the back now, 17-second gap, so I do believe that Doug did indeed back off there. Let's just have a look. That gap is once again coming down as Hellraiser's in the slipstream of Doug. Is he going to have a look down at the inside? Not quite close enough, but has he got a good run coming out of the corner? Let's ride on board once more. Have a look into a Druid's hairpin. 0.49, now 0.37. So, and going purple is Hellraiser. So Hellraiser now looking to get a bit more racy up against his good friend, the old timer, Doug Barrow up in front. Again, 2 interesting lines there. Doug goes wide in, tight out, and Hellraiser just kept it tight pretty much the whole way through. You can just see that the gap just about 1,000th of a second just fluctuating there. Small flash of the headlights there from Hellraiser, I do believe, as they pop up again. The pop-up headlights of these Mazda touring cars. Forever closing. Yera's still dropping back even further now, as well as Kyle now 17.9 seconds back. Hellraiser just it seems to be quicker coming through sector 3 in comparison to Doug, and then Doug really pulls it back in these final 2 corners. Just extends that gap back out to just over 0.3 of a second. Not enough for Hellraiser to take a lunge into turn 1. And again, pretty equal line between them both there. Gap again starts to come down, but I don't think it'll be enough unless we're expecting one hell of a lunge here from Hellraiser. But he's a better driver than that and knows better. In fact, he's gone wide. It's Hellraiser that does go wide. Just trying to take avoiding action of Doug, who was much earlier on the brake, just keeping an eye on Yera in the back there, just going slightly wide, but not wide enough to warrant a visit into the gravel trap. And in fact, Hellraiser's got a great run coming out of Graham Hill Bend onto Cooper Straight. He's going to look to the outside, going to tap of the brake, switch back to the inside. No, he's going to hang it all the way around the outside. And in fact, he's going to get this move done side by side, coming down onto the Grand Prix straight. Couldn't tell you what it is, but he's got the move done. Can he keep it in front of Doug into the fast right-hander? He uses all the curb on the outside, and in fact now he's in position. So great run from Hellraiser, a good stringency of corners there to get the move done. And of course, as previously mentioned, these guys are good friends, good pals. They've been racing for a good amount of time together. So a lot of respect between them, and in fact, Hair Raiser now just starts to pull the gap that that Doug was pulling on him. So perhaps Doug was just holding him up the entire time. With 2 minutes to go, though, it's a crucial time to get that pass done. Let's just have a look. As I think Kyle may have made a mistake, he's now 23 seconds back. The battle for the lead rages on here at Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit. And Doug way up on the curb there on the inside, really trying to get that move back on Hair Raiser. Hair Raiser covers the middle of the circuit to make it look like he's going to cover the inside. Runs slightly wide though. Doug will capitalise. He'll now go to the inside. Let him know he's there. Just gets cut off a bit there by Hair Raiser. Both cars run slightly wide. Hair Raiser keeps the momentum up through the... back down where Hair Raiser got the move done on the previous lap. Doug not looking to return the favour though. Through the fast right-hander once more. Doug ever so slightly closing up. 0.36, 0.34 now. 3027. And in fact, Doug, keep it on the circuit, just about keeps that. That was very lucky. Gap now up to half a second. Doug now starting to overdrive himself, trying to find a way back past Hair Raiser. In fact, this will be now the penultimate lap. These guys will now head on to the last lap as they come out of the final corner and along Brabham Straight. Here we go, coming through the final corner on the penultimate lap. Hair Raiser leads Doug, with Yera now gaining ever so slightly in the past lap or two. Gap now 4.5 between him and Doug. Doug still sticking on the back of Hair Raiser, looking to the outside. He's going to look to make the switch back, get a better drive on the exit. He does, and he gains quite a good amount of time doing that, and goes purple in sector 1 as well. So really racy is now Doug. In fact, he's got a great run on Hair Raiser here. Hair Raiser not looking to defend it. Doug's going to go to the inside. Let's just cut to third person cam here, or fourth person cam, sorry, this is the spectator cam. And in fact, Doug's got the move done. Doug has indeed got the move done. So these guys really looking racy at the moment. Let's keep an eye, watch backwards from Doug's car here. Just see Hair Raiser is going to take a slightly tighter line. Faster in, slower out though. You're not going to find any grip out there or time. And he's lost a huge chunk of time now, down to 5/10 of a second. So exactly what happened on the previous lap, I believe, has just happened here. Through here, Doug keeping it on the circuit. Hair Raiser not. Hair Raiser's way wide. Has definitely cost his chance of the win. But coming up now to the final corner is Doug Barrow. We watch him come through the final corner to take the win here for the pre-season Mazda MX5 One Make Championship. All cars equal, and across the line he takes the win, followed by Hair Raiser. And then Yera takes the final podium spot. Let's have a look back and see where Kyle is. Kyle just running through the second to last corner. Now coming through Clearways is Kyle to pick up 4th place out of a total of 7 cars that did start this race. Or 6, sorry, it was 6 because James didn't quite make it. Here comes Kyle across the line to take 4th place. So there's the rundown of the order, 5th and 6th not finishing. But it is indeed victory, and a congratulations to Doug Barrow for taking the win for the Straight Line Motorsports Mazda MX5 social race this evening here at Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit, as the map looks to have a glitch there. We have a car off at the last corner. Nope, all cars now in the pits. So that's it from us. Looks like it's going to be pretty exciting. We've got good stuff on its way. As previously mentioned, we've got wreckers, we've got trucks, we've got Formula cars, we've got touring cars, GT cars, you name it. We've got all sorts of stuff coming up here at Straight Line Motorsports. I've been Elliot. I've been your commentator for this evening. Once again, my name is found just up here in the top right. If you do want to take part in any of our championships here at Straightline Motorsports, drop me a message. I will provide you with the Discord, and of course you can make us aware of your commitments and your interest in Straightline Motorsports. But for now, it is a good evening from me, and we look forward to seeing you very soon.